MLP series review, season 2, episode 26, A Canterlot Wedding, part 2. I'm already coming into this episode frustrated with how the last episode ended. I don't like the way they handled Celestia. I don't like the way they handled Luna. I don't like how Twilight's friends are just the same as they were in Lesson 0, as if they forgot about that. Shining kind of makes sense with Shining because he's mind controlled, so fine. His character isn't that bad because he's being mind controlled, but everyone else is just completely different than they should be, so we'll go from there. I feel so bad for Cadance, like real Cadance. She's such a cutie. First of all, this whole premise doesn't make sense. Chrysalis sinks Twilight under Canterlot, and she's in like gem mines. I don't know if they explained it in the second, so maybe I'm jumping to conclusions. But Twilight's using magic, so why wouldn't Twilight just teleport out? Again, teleportation is a thing, guys. You do it all the time. But this party is kind of dark because Chrysalis is using the reflections of the gems to get Twilight to shoot beams of magic at her, and then once she shatters one of the gems, real Cadance is there, and Twilight attacks her, and it's like, was Chrysalis trying to get Twilight to murder Cadance? Because that kind of appears to be what they're trying to do. Also, we get Twilight we get Twilight tackling Cadance with the tackle sound, which is really funny because Cadance is like, "Don't hurt me! I'm not a bad person." We get Cadance convincing Twilight that she's the actual Cadance with Sunshine, Sunshine, and that's a good part. If it wasn't Chrysalis's plan to try to get Twilight to murder Cadance, why did she send her to the same place as her? That was really dumb of her. Cadance seems to be on her last leg, so why would you send a infinitely refreshed Twilight to go help her escape? That's just already dumb. For the sake of the story, I guess. We get This Day Aria. One of the best songs in the show. I don't like it more than Smile, 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 but it is a really good song. It's probably up there with Smile, Smile, Smile. And yes, we do see indications that Cadance is in fact very weak. She can't even push the minecart to make it go, and Twilight helps her with her magic. So it was probably a really bad idea to send Twilight to where Cadance was, unless you were planning for her to kill her. And if you were just planning for her to kill her, that's weird to do. It's just a weird decision, Chrysalis. Twilight finally teleports. I guess she needs a visual. She's doing the Nightcrawler thing, or I guess the Nightcrawler thing in X like 2 or whatever, where he's like, I've never teleported on the other side of a door before. We get the changelings, kind of. They kind of show up. Celestia is apparently just completely oblivious to what's going on. She's just going through with the wedding, and it irritates me. Okay, we got Cadance and Twilight stopping the ceremony, and Chrysalis reveals herself, but then she's like, she's mind controlling Shining Armor, and her changelings are hitting the barrier. If you're mind controlling Shining Armor, just make him take down the barrier. That makes no sense whatsoever. I don't even... There's so many guards right now around her. The security is bumped up. You'd know it'd be insanely high in the chamber. Why are they just standing there watching her? And Chrysalis says, he may not be my husband, but he's under my total control now. Then make him take down the barrier? It's his barrier. Why are you trying to destroy the barrier? Just have him take it down. Oh, okay. And then we get the scene that I could talk about for days and weeks and years and decades and centuries and millennia, and probably longer than that even. Celestia gets beaten by Chrysalis, and it's just the most unbelievable thing in the entire show up to this point. Chrysalis says, Shining Armor's love is so great for Cadance that it made her more powerful than Celestia. Celestia is protecting everyone, all of Equestria. I am sorry that would include Shining Armor and Cadance. I don't see how their love for each other is stronger than Celestia. Where is Luna? This is such a dumb scene. It's such a dumb scene. It would have made even more sense if Celestia got tricked. Like if Chrysalis maybe brought in, that would have been good. This is what you do. Here's problem solved. Here is literally solution to this scene to make Celestia lose and have it make sense and it also be way better. This is what you do. She has changelings. Changelings can change into ponies. They've already showed over this entire episode that Celestia cannot see through changeling disguises. Fine, she can't. That's great. Use that. So you get a changeling. You get one changeling. You just get it. You get it and you go walk in. It walks in behind Celestia. Walks in behind everyone. It's transformed into Luna, but it's hurt. It's hurt. Luna looks devastatingly hurt. Like she's limping. It's not her. It's a changeling. Makes sense. What's going to happen? Celestia is just going to be like, what happened to my sister? She's going to focus on that because it's her sister. And that's the most important thing to her at this time, I would assume, right? Luna. That's all you got to do. Luna. She looks at her. Luna. Celestia looks at Luna. Fake Luna. Not real Luna, fake Luna. Luna. She calls out to her and focuses on her. And when she does that, Chrysalis blasts her from the side. Blasts her nasty, and she gets taken out the same way. You could have the crown fly off. You could have the moment where it's a slow motion and it's dramatic. You could have the moment where she's like, "You must get the elements to defeat the queen." You could still have everything happen the exact same. The only difference is it doesn't make Celestia look weak. It makes her look like she cares about her sister. And then that changeling, he changed back into normal and laughs because they tricked Celestia. That's all you got to do. Easy way to fix that scene. But they give us a Celestia gets wrecked by Chrysalis. I'm not going to go on with this because I could go on for days. That moment is it's annoying. Celestia kind of deserves it for what happened earlier in the episode, but that wouldn't have happened anyways because Celestia wouldn't have done that because she's not that type of person. She would have been like, Twilight, we should talk. That's literally her character. Moving on. Okay, so after Celestia, I'm just going to mention that Celestia gets potted now because that's another thing that I could talk for days about and how much it bothers me, but we're going to just say that, get it over with, and be done with it. We have a really big fight scene between the main six and a lot of changelings, and it's a joke. This whole episode really struggles with tone. It's one of the main problems I have with the new Star Wars movies. One of the main things that I learned from a video I watched, Mahler made it, about Star Wars and about writing in general and just how things function in a story. This is kind of going to get off topic, but it's something that I think is important for writing. Very, very important. Is tone. You have to understand when you're writing a scene what you want the audience to feel. And you can't shift tone back and forth and back and forth and back and forth so much, especially in serious moments. Really good people who do this is the Marvel writers, Avengers, when they make jokes, but they're also able to have scenes like Quicksilver dying or like Vision dying when Thanos pulls out his thing, the stone from his forehead. You have to be able to balance comedy with what is that? Tragedy. You have to be able to if you're going to do both. But if you're going to do both, you can't shift between one to the other so fast that your head spins. So, for example, when Quicksilver died and he's like, bet you didn't see that coming, and he fell over, the next within the next 2 minutes, it wasn't like, ha ha ha, Iron Man said a funny joke. That's just dumb. It doesn't work. They know how to balance those two. And the biggest example that Mahler used in Star Wars, or one of the biggest examples, because there are so many bad examples of bad writing in the new Star Wars, is the scene when Kylo Ren the first scene with Kylo Ren when he is going to capture Poe. What happens is Kylo Ren literally, sorry, he murders an old man, kills him, just kills him, strikes down an old man, and he dies. And it's enough to make Poe, in anger, shoot his blaster at Kylo Ren's back to try and kill him. And Kylo Ren stops the bolt of blasts in midair and pulls Poe into his force grip and throws him on the ground. And within a couple of seconds, Poe is like, so who talks here? Do we talk? Do I talk? Who talks first? You talk? And it's like, what are you doing? This is a serious moment. Somebody just died, and you are being captured by the person who killed them. Am I supposed to be laughing? Am I supposed to be scared? You're establishing yourself as like a quirky jokester. I'm so cool and I don't even care if I'm about to die. Fine, but somebody did just die. That person was a character in this series, and I'm supposed to care that good guys die. I realized that I was guilty of this same thing in some of my own stories. Even, for example, in a Sly Cooper story that I had written a long time ago, I went back and read parts of it, and there were threats of death within seconds of jokes and near-death experiences within seconds of jokes and stuff like that. And I was like, what is my tone here? What am I doing? Am I trying to get them to be afraid of this character, or is it a joke? Or what am I doing? And with this episode of Ponies, that's exactly the problem. Fine, you want to beat Celestia. You want it to mean something. You give it the slow motion, the crown falling off of her head, crowns falling off of royalties. You just defeated the princess. Fine, and it means something. But then you have a scene of Rarity gathering hats or something, and then you have a scene of, oh, this is a big joke. It's fun, haha, fighting. This is woo woo woo, and it just, what tone are you going for? Am I supposed to? And then what's even more, I said I'm just going to move forward, but I can't. What's even more is after this jokey scene, they have Celestia potted. That's not funny. That's not like a joke. Are we supposed to take that serious? Are we supposed to be like, Princess Celestia, the most powerful pony in all of Equestria, is potted now, and we don't know what's happening in this? What am I supposed to feel, My Little Pony writers? What are you trying to convey to me? Am I supposed to feel distress? Am I supposed to laugh? I don't know what I'm supposed to do at this point, because your writing is so bad. The main six get captured. Chrysalis says Twilight was correct and that they were all wrong. We get an apology from Applejack because, of course, Applejack is always the most honest one. We still needed an apology from Celestia, and we need an apology from Shining Armor, and we need an apology from the rest of the main six, because if we don't get one, I'm going to be pretty pissed off. We get This Day Aria reprise. It's fine. It's obviously not the main song. It's just a little Chrysalis thing. She left Cadance inside of the room with them and went and sang. Okay. Shining Armor says, I don't have the strength to perform my spell. Cadance says, my love will give you strength. And Chrysalis says, what a lovely but absolutely ridiculous sentiment. And everybody just points at Chrysalis and says, Chrysalis, that's literally how you work. And she goes, oh, you're right. And then she explodes. That's not actually what happens, but that's probably what should have happened. So then, Chrysalis's love obviously does exactly the same thing. Not Chrysalis's. I'm at the end of my rope. I'm so sorry. Cadance's love does the thing exactly she just said she just was going to do, and they do giant love spell, and it makes all of the changelings explode. Again, that's not what happened. Probably what should have happened, but they just get team rocketed. Cadance... Oh. Celestia is on the floor, and Twilight goes to help her up, and Celestia is like, oh, don't worry about me. You have a real wedding to plan. and I just look at Celestia, and she looks at me, and I look at her, and she looks at me, and then I frown, and then she frowns, and then I frown and shake my head, and she lowers her head, and then she looks back up, but I'm still mad, and I'm still staring at her, and I just mouth, "You still owe Twilight an apology for being a jerk to her before." And then I look at the other main six, and I look at Shining Armor, and then I just walk out, and then I explode. Wait, they just showed Twilight's and Shining's parents. Why didn't we get more of them in this episode? It is their children. I would have assumed that there would have been a conversation between them. But we didn't even get a conversation between Celestia and Twilight, so I guess that makes sense. We get the wedding ceremony. Celestia is apparently ordained as a priest because she can wed ponies. I don't know if that's how royalty actually works. I might look into that. The rings go on their horns, but what if they're not unicorns or alicorns? Where would the rings go? That makes me wonder. Also, where's Luna? Why did Luna did Luna really just sleep through? I can definitely see Luna doing that. We get a lesson from Celestia about trusting your instincts, but I still just stare at her with disapproving head shaking because she knows that she didn't apologize. She knows it. So do the other main six. Applejack is always the most reasonable, and all of the others are just so unreasonable. Oh my gosh, I forgot that. They do a joke about Luna missing everything. I hate the writers of this show so much. She shows up at night, and she says, "Hello, every pony. Did I miss anything?" There are no words. I will simply move on. There are no words. We get Love is in Bloom, an excellent song, and we get Shining and Cadance leaving, and we get a gag. Rarity wants to get married. Sadly enough, at the end of the series, she's still not married. I guess the writers were just like, what? Apparently, with her, they were just like, eh. So this is dragging on quite a bit. This episode is a mess. This episode itself is a mess. It's such a mess. I've gone 17 minutes that I've just been ranting about how this episode is nonsensical and doesn't at all make sense. These two episodes together, if it depends on how I decide to go, this is what we get, and it's substantial for the series as far as everything that matters that we gained that was a positive. We got Shining Armor and Princess Cadance. I like Cadance a lot. If she wasn't so cute, this episode probably would be much lower. I think she's a great character. I think that she complicates things to a degree that she shouldn't. She should have been a unicorn. It would have been fine if she was a unicorn. But I'm still fine with her. I like her a lot. Shining, who cares? It's Shining Armor. He's an interesting character in Fanon. He's a much more interesting character in Fanon than he is in the canon of the series. We get Queen Chrysalis, who is an excellent villain. We get the Changelings, which is a cool race. We do get those two things. We get BBBFF song. We get This Day Aria song. And we get Love's in Bloom song, which are three really, really good songs for the series. Everything else, though, as far as the story and the decisions they made and how the story played out, a mess. Just a complete mess. Going fairly, since I'm not giving points like 0.5, I won't give 0.5s. I think that this episode by itself, because it does introduce Chrysalis's design and the Changelings' designs. It does give us Love is in Bloom. It does give us This Day Aria. Yeah, I guess I would have to give it a 3 out of 5, just because it gives us so much stuff. The last episode gave us Cadance's design. It gave us Shining Armor's design. Overall, both episodes together, It's difficult. I just for everything that it gave, I'd probably give it a 3 out of 5. Reluctantly, I want to give it a 2 just because of how frustrated it makes me. The Discord episode is just light years better. But yeah, 3 out of 5 overall for both episodes together.